Plan B. If you have a plan A, you got to have a plan B.
You do?
Yes. There's on this show, you even have a plan B. It's called Crash. Actually, the crashing I'm talking about here is actually a federal judge in Brooklyn, New York, ordered the Food and Drug Administration to make the morning after pill available to everybody, to every woman at any age without a prescription, which is about fucking time. Because personally, if women have access to all kinds of forms of contraception, they can regulate their bodies a little better. Regulate if they want to have a child or not. And I think this is about time. Now, the problem here is that the religious nutjobs out there, they said that Bill Donahue, for example, for the Catholically religious and civil rights, disagreed with the court ruling, says that a 12-year-old girl in New York City cannot be given an aspirin by her teacher, even if she has the fever. Well, that's a policy. That's a school policy. That's not a policy for everybody else, though. I mean, I can go to the drugstore, I can go to the gas station, and I can buy an aspirin. Anybody, a man or a woman can go out and buy an aspirin. That's not the point here, people. It says it's the same girl cannot buy a large soda during lunchtime because the mayor has decreed that it is not good for her. Well, that's another health issue, not related to sexuality.
Oh, and an unwanted pregnancy is good for her?
Yeah, no, exactly. An unwanted pregnancy, yeah, exactly. And it says here, and this is where they go completely off the nut. It says, but she can give it a pill, unbeknownst to her parents, that could arguably abort her baby. Morons! It is not an abortion pill. Okay, you cannot take the Plan B pill and have an abortion. It doesn't work that way. What it does is it keeps if an egg should become fertilized in the first 24 to 72 hours, it prevents it from implanting. It does not abort the child. If the egg and sperm come together and they implant into the womb and she takes this, it is ineffective. And it does not abort the child, it does not abort the fetus, rather. It is not an abortion pill. You're using bad science and bad information. It is not an abortion pill. What it does is it does basically the same thing as when a woman takes a oral contraception. It keeps the egg and the sperm from either fertilizing, or it flushes it out to keep it from implanting into the womb. That's all it does. It's almost the same exact thing, only it works within 24 to 48 or 72 hours. It's not an abortion pill, people. Joe, your thoughts?
Yeah, this is a victory. I was happy when I heard of this ruling. I've never been in a situation where I needed emergency contraception, but I know someone who has. Mm-hmm. And to have this available, because, I mean, let's face it, even if you are safe, accidents can happen. Mm-hmm. So this is a good alternative to waiting weeks and then discovering you're pregnant and then making an even larger decision.
Right.
So with Plan B, a woman can cut off the pregnancy before it even happens. Mm-hmm. And as the article says, the FDA ruled it could only be used if she was 17 and older. Mm-hmm. But there is no science behind restricting girls 16 and younger.
Right.
So the judge lifting this ban is telling the FDA that they should not be concerning themselves with regulating morality.
Right, exactly. And it's not their job to regulate morality. What a person does with their body is their own damn business. It's not anybody else's business. I mean, and there are also, it says here that another one here, but the Family Research Council, another set of nutballs out there, said that the real danger is that Plan B may be given to young girls under coercion or without their consent. Really? You could make the same argument for alcohol or anything for that matter, because you could slip somebody a Mickey and take advantage of them. Most people, if you're going to slip them a pill like this after the fact, not going to do jack shit. You might as well have just given them a Tic Tac. It's a $50 Tic Tac at that. If a woman takes this within 24 to 72 hours, it just keeps her from becoming pregnant. You can't slip somebody a pill just to give them one like that. It doesn't work that way, people. Medusa, your thoughts?
Of course, I think this is a positive step forward in reproductive rights for all women, at least in New York. Mm-hmm. That's a good thing. I hope other states pick it up as well. There's been a case in the media in Philadelphia. I don't know, Joe, our pit of endless knowledge may have heard of it. the trial of Dr. Kermit Gosnell, who ran the West Philadelphia Women's Medical Center for abortion since 1979. And he is, among other crimes, the doctor is charged with the murder of 7 infants who were born alive after failed abortion attempts. And they were gruesomely murdered by a standard technique in backwater abortions of clipping the spinal cord. It's disgusting, and they showed bags of aborted babies. One clinic worker said he's estimated of killing nearly 100 babies. There's a video of him, a documentary, Horror Shop is what it's called, if you guys want more information on that. But I don't know how far Philadelphia is from New York City, but I think that's going to drive women in droves to, I hope it does, to help get measures like this ratified in their own states. And those are my thoughts.
Okay. Yeah, this should be a measure that should be registered everywhere. I mean, it's not just in New York. It should be available everywhere. I think that since they are petitioning the Food and Drug Commission, this might actually be available everywhere. Someone in the chat room just said something that was really very interesting, very poignant. Veeps in the chat room said, religious people don't like the idea of sex without consequences. That's what it boils down to. And that's exactly it. They want to make sure that if you have sex, you have to get pregnant. So this way, everybody can slut shame you. Say, oh, we know what you're doing. You're out there having sex. And we want you if you're going to have sex, you're going to have to get married or whatever, you know.
And if you have to have an abortion, it's going to be gruesome.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Or they'll say they want to force you to have that child. So this way you can go into poverty, and so that they can prey on you later. And I don't mean put your hands together and pray. They want to prey on you, take your money for tithes and all this stuff, and make sure that they shove you in a church and fill you full of baloney and nonsense, and carry on a tradition of lunacy.
Well, the poor little baby till he grows up gay, then he's going to hell again.
Yeah. True, Serge, your thoughts?
Having been a Christian for a good chunk of my life, I can certainly understand where a lot of the dynamics of the opposition come from. You know, because if you believe that there's some higher being that has created everything and has puppeteered everything and is in control and desires that you do certain things, you know, it's just, you know, a belief does come along, you know, does come with a consequence. So if they believe, well, you know, union of a man and woman, well, that should only be done in a context of a marriage, or, you know, what God joins and let no man separate. And they have this. In fact, I intend to do a video or 3 on this very topic of sex outside of the construct of marriage.
That's how I like it.
As it relates to the Bible. In other words, what does the Bible contain regarding that subject, or what doesn't it contain? I just haven't gotten around to doing it yet. But yeah, I'm all for it, obviously. But it's interesting to think about, you know, the dynamics of why someone would be against it. Well, it's because a lack of education on the one hand, and some inherent beliefs on the other hand that are causing them to believe, well, if we give them this, then that's just that's carte blanche to have sex all day, every day.
Right.
And so all these dynamics are there, but I'm just hoping that, you know, eventually, you know, just logic and common sense, good sense will, you know, and maybe in some pockets, these things can, you know, like in Washington, I think they've just legalized marijuana, didn't they?
Yeah, they actually, it was in Colorado they legalized that, I believe. Or is that, or Washington State?
So yeah, I just think that some of these pockets will start coming up, and you know, I think eventually things will work that direction.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and the thing is, you touched on something very interesting. Hell, if I can remember what it was. But yeah, it's the Packard Pokes At Brain Fart. I can't remember what it was now. Maybe
it was it the influences of you know, the people believing that, you know, there's some there's some way it should happen, and it's the biblical way, and then there's the way it's actually happening. Because I mean, let's face it, kids, even I think the stats, if we looked at them, it would show that there's not really a difference between the Christian kids and the non-Christian kids.
Right.
I don't really think there's anything in the Bible, though, about marijuana.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Anybody else have any last thoughts on this?
Crucifixion in the chat room quoted Bill Maher. For the record, all marriages are same-sex marriages, getting married, and every night it's the same sex.
Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna touch on. When True Surgeon was saying about all the sex and the pills and everything, because several months back, everybody would probably remember this, Rush Limbaugh said he was going, like, they didn't want to let women have access to birth control because they thought, oh, I got to take a pill, and I got to have, every time I have sex, I got to take a pill. No, it doesn't work that way. It just shows you exactly how limited his medical knowledge is. And this is basic knowledge. This is high school knowledge.
Yeah.
If you take a pill, you don't have to have, just because you're taking a pill, doesn't mean, oh my God, I got to go out and have sex. No. The pill that women take is just a lot of them take it not because they're having sex, just so they can regulate their bodies. And just because you have take the pill every day, or even if you take other forms of birth control, doesn't mean you have to keep having more and more pills every time you have sex. It's not like a condom, which are pretty cheap all the way around. You were going to say, Joe?
Oh, I was going to say, when I saw the video of him making those comments, I was embarrassed for him. I was like, oh, you have absolutely no idea what you're talking about right now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, Rush, when has Rush ever known what the fuck he's ever talking about?
Right. And not all women take the birth control pill because of contraception. Some of them take it to regulate their cycle.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying.
There's other medical reasons to take it.
Exactly. Just like there's other reasons to take an aspirin, And as Crystal said in the chat room, fuck Rush, and I'm all for that. Well, I don't want to fuck him, but I mean,
No, I don't want you either, but no man with a penis is going to regulate my vagina.
That's right, and nobody should, The only person that should regulate your vagina is you and your doctor, and that's the only people that should regulate it. So,
thank you, Packard.
You're welcome. And the same thing goes for every other woman out there. The only people that should be talking about your vagina is you and your doctor, and that's the only people who should be regulating.
But I have a question,
Packard. Sure.
How can I regulate my penis?
Well, you take it by you pull down your pants. No,
Not now. Come on.
To get your penis regulated, you're going to need to start writing letters to your congressman right now.
That's right. There's actually a little weight set you can buy, and you put it on there. No, I'm just kidding.